Alrighty.
Yeah,
So, Scotty, we come off the PGA Tour, right? And now we transition into coaching. How was that transition?
it's still ongoing,
Yes.
but yeah, as you know, it takes a long time to form your plan and work out what works. I had a lot of instructors, so you kind of got to siphon through the pieces and see what can help the people that are in front of you. Because as a player, for 30 years you got one set of problems, and as a coach, you got a different set every time somebody's in front of you. And they're quite different, and the only way you get better is, as you've heard from just about everybody who's any good at coaching, is that you only get better by people being in front of you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You learn a lot. I've often thought about giving any.
But I think looking at the parallels in people that I've seen become really good, you see in how they practice, like your Jordan Spieth or your Jason Day, or just how they measured their practice, so they weren't wasting time spending more time on something, on any particular thing, so that made them more rounded as players. Like, they measured their practice, so when they numbers, they went and did something else, and they didn't just get good at one thing, they got good at most things.
Yeah, exactly right. I want to touch base on that too. Tell me about, so when you started coaching, and I was talking to Greg Chalmers about this as well, about how trying to, I guess, find his identity and how he wants to coach, and being very careful, especially coming from a very strong playing background like you. I guess you'd probably be more careful with your words as well and what you're saying, because you understand the consequences if you say something wrong and send people down the wrong direction. And you said something there as well, that at the start you said that I've had the same set of problems for 30 years, and now I'm dealing with lots of different problems. I guess that's something that the recreational golfer doesn't understand as well, right? Is that they think there's a new problem every day, and there's not.
And that's the thing that I noticed from, which also goes towards coaching, is that when I was on the PGA Tour, when I look back, I saw the same people doing the same things every day. The ones that had long careers, the ones that were trying to, find lightning in a bottle, going to a different coach, probably myself included. Not probably, but they didn't have long careers if they were doing something different. On a regular basis. The ones that had their, and that's what I'm trying to do with my kids is, find the thing that works for them, and then just keep on them about that, and have them understand why they're doing it and keep doing it.
I completely agree with that. But the difficult thing as well is to educate the student that their problem isn't a new problem. It might be a byproduct of something that they're working on, but it's not like it's something new. You need to go, from stack and tilt to a gankus, or you don't need to be jumping around methods or trying to find the next thing. It's to try and make sure you're honing in on and developing a skill, and to change a behavior, to change a pattern, you got to change your behaviors of your training, right? To try and get it to adjust.
And the best players are prepared to do the things that have to be done, like alignment, ball position, and and then and that's the thing that I saw the best players doing, like whether it's on the putting green, whether they have a mirror, whether they have a string line, whether they have an alignment stick that they putt their 6 to 10 footer every time they get to the course. The first thing they do, like how they start their putting routine, whether it be in practice or pre-round, just to get them in the mindset, or assertive. Be assertive towards it. Whereas, the people that aren't very good are a bit scattered. They don't have a plan, as to when I have people do drills, or when they get to the course. I learn a lot from Cameron McCormick, with his structure of practice, and, a little bit from Dale Lynch, from seeing Aaron Adley, one of the best putters. I know Jordan starts every practice routine. He'll get an alignment stick, put the ball in the center of his putter, but the toe of the putter's on the stick. So he's hitting uphill right to lefters. So he's always, you know, to hit that length of putt, you got to hit it. You actually got to hit it for it to hold its line. And then you get feedback from the alignment stick as to your arc or swing path, you know. So, you know, once you've done that, it's kind of like your free throws in basketball. You got to make them and then you move on to something else.
Yeah. And for me, like, it's interesting listening to you talk there, right? It's about, I don't think enough people develop the skill. So what I mean by that, right, is that when you're learning a new thing, so you're going to Scotty for a golf lesson and say you have to work on your trail arm because it's moving in a manner that's not effective for you, right? I don't think enough people, once they get that lesson from Scotty, is that they actually do enough reps. You know what I mean? Like, and develop the skill. And then once you actually understand how to move in that way, and then how to play with it, how to hit different shots, and how to actually use it, I think a lot of people just go, okay, that's done. What's next? You know, it's not like, I think you need to drum it in. And whenever I see,
and that's what I was going to say. Really, I went to that earlier. Like, you tell somebody that, okay, well, I do this every time I hit a shot on the golf course. You get the person to do a drill, maybe, and then they'll hit a good shot, and then the next shot they don't do the drill. It's like, you know, when I said do this drill every shot, do it every shot.
Yeah, and
I get better.
And that's one of the gaps between the recreational golfer and professional golfer is when people ask me the difference between teaching, you know, my pros or my elite golfers compared to my recreational golfer. And my one answer always is that the pros and the elite golfer knows what it takes and they are willing to put the training in. You know, like myself, when I turned pro, I was not naturally gifted like anyone else. I just knew how to work hard. That's how I got to where I got to. You know what I mean? Where the reason why, you know, you got to the PGA Tour is you worked hard at your skill and you trained hard and you got there, right? It's not because you got a secret tip and you did it a couple of times on a Wednesday afternoon. And
kind of funny.
Yeah.
Elite athlete gets information, they work at it for 6 months to try get it right, yet the recreational golfer gets that tip and they're mad if the next ball isn't better.
So how do you convince your students that this is the right way and the right way to train? How do you do it?
You know, try to give them the best explanation that you can. Just, film a couple of times, sort of say, okay, well, this is, you know, how your setup is. And that's, if it's not right, then you demonstrate, you know, I'd say a lot of demonstration, you know, in terms of how your body moves. I try not to hit too many balls, but, you know, sometimes it gets to the point where you have to, but yeah, generally I think, you know, just the simplicity of it. Most people, they find, you know, I tell them that, you know, if you do this correctly, you're not going to have to try near as hard as what you do now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, that's just, I think everybody has their, I don't know if their preferences, but has in their mind about the right way to move, because, you know, if you move your body well, then it makes it easier for the arms to, and everything else. So, you know, I
think that's true, right? And whenever people do something good, right, people always say they make it look easy, right?
Yeah.
They make it look easy, and you did it well. You know, they've been working really hard at their craft to try and hone their skill and to try and make it not as much stuff going on, so they can kind of time it more and more. Like when I played around here in Australia, nothing crazy. I was always fighting a slice, right? I was fighting it my whole career. Where now my golf swing is a lot more neutral, and I've got more control of my golf ball than I ever had. And you know, if I could do the reps with the action I had now back to when I was playing, I might be better off. But I was always just kind of fighting it a little bit. And like you say, if you worked one way in a certain direction, then it's not as hard. It's not as difficult.
Yeah. You know, so much that I didn't know when I played, and I had some success in spite of what I didn't know or what I knew, like you're just trying to find a way to make the ball curve predictably. Whereas now I understand why it does what it does.
Yeah,
because you got to learn as a coach, because if you can't just tell people to do what you did, because, like they don't have the time to try and work it out. You got to try and make them better. And, when they're in front of you.
Yeah, I know. And if someone has, so you deal with a lot of elite golfers and a lot of the recreational golfer as well.
I would say more recreational than elite.
Okay.
But I feel like, the elite ones are good, because even, some of my other friends that coach some, have another Australian guy that coaches a lot of really good players in our area, that I'll spend time with them on their short game or on course, just because there's little things. Because, when you're, it's nice to have a nice swing, but you're not going to always feel like you do on the range when you're in the heat of battle, and you got to find a way. If there's trouble on the left and you can't feel your hands, to try and make it not go left, just little things, like how to put pressure in your hands to, stop the club releasing, or
tell me about that. Let's talk about that. So your pressure's on your hand. So you talk about let's talk with a right-handed golfer. If the ball's going left, so you're hitting the right-handed golfer, what do you talk about with the hands?
Well, it's interesting. There's a few different ways to think about it. Like, I remember playing with Roger Davis, and he said, I'd tee the ball down as low as I could and make the inside of the club beat the outside of the club to the ball. But also, in terms of grip pressure from the right-handed golfer, applying more pressure from the thumb pad to the top of the left thumb, just keeping the pressure more there, so the club doesn't
take
close. Yeah. Just little stuff that you don't put that out in a book or on Instagram. Generally,
I was playing with Craig Parry once, and he was teaching me the knuckleball, and a few times, and we walked up to a par 4 Eleanor Country Club, and it was about a 100-meter carry to get to the fairway, and it was not a beautiful course at Eleanor Country Club, and he walks up to my ball and he goes, "Do you want to hit it?" And he stands on it. And I got a hybrid, and he's like, "You got to hit it out of that little indent." I'm like, "Mate, I can't get it out of there." And that's what I did when I used to play the British Open, stand on the ball, like put it in the ground.
I think Paz taught Tiger the stinger.
Yeah, he thinks.
Is what I heard in a podcast. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I think maybe with Whittle, maybe. Yeah.
Craig Parry, he's got a lot of skill.
I'll tell you a story about Paz. We were playing the New Zealand Open that Tiger came over 2002.
Yes, Mr. Carr.
We were playing at Paraparam. It's kind of funny. There's a lot of funny stories from that week. I was playing horrible, and I actually ended up leading the first day. It was the worst I've ever played prior, and then found a drill, made shot 7 under the first day. But anyway, that was probably one of the stories. But we're playing, and we had so much rain that week, and we're staying like 40 minutes from the course. And Paz, we came back on Sunday to finish the last 5 holes, and Paz left his shoes at the hotel, and for some reason I had 2 pairs, and I'm like a size 10.5. Paz is probably size 8.
Yeah.
So anyway, he ended up playing the last 5 holes of the Saturday round on Sunday in my shoes. And guess what happened at the end of that Sunday?
What, he won?
He won.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. That was pretty. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
size 10.
I don't know if that's like many people. Yeah, he was playing in shoes 2 sizes too big, and I don't know what he did the last 5 holes, but he did well enough to allow him to go out and win. In the field with Tiger. It was. They didn't even have a range on the property because there was so much media there. And I remember one. It was 2002, so Tiger just won the Grand Slam. It was early in the year, and I remember hitting balls on the range and looked behind me. Oh, actually, somebody said, "Hey, Scotty, do you mind if I grab some balls?" And I looked around. It was Steve Williams. And I was like, "Grab as many as you want." And Tiger's hitting balls in front of me. And like, if there was a tree that was 3 feet high and 3 foot wide at 5-iron range, he hit enough balls, he would have taken every leaf off it. It was just so impressive. But yeah, so hitting balls next to Tiger and landing shoes to the winner that week, that was pretty good fun.
That's good manners. Hey, what
Yeah.
about yeah, that was incredible. Parry he's a legend too. He's such a great guy.
Yeah.
He's doing a lot of golf course stuff now with bunkering, and he's incredible. He's got a really good eye for golf course design and that as well.
Yeah, he's a very clever golfer, and yeah.
Tell me about, okay, let's get back to a bit of coaching, right? So the recreational golfer, right? Say we've got a 15 handicap golfer who can only play golf once a week and has an opportunity to practice, let's say 2 afternoons a week. What's your suggestion for that 15 handicapper? How should they be going about their training?
It's a good question. Find a good coach.
Yes.
So yeah, just I don't know, just if you have a good session with a coach, you should be able to, because we all have our swing DNA. Like, things aren't going to change. Yep. Generally, alignment is poor for most of them. Yeah. I'm just trying to think. Body. Generally, I find the finish of a swing, like, it's I call it the MapQuest drill. It's kind of like a stack and tilt drill, but most of them don't get their weight forward enough, and they have bent arms through the ball. Yeah. I know that'll make you smile, because everybody who sends you a video does it, don't they?
Yeah. A lot of times.
Yeah, but if you can find the finish of the swing, then generally, if you aim to get there, you'll probably do better on the way.
I couldn't agree with you more on that one there. I use a lot of drills post-impact and putting people in a certain position to try and change their pattern. So for the golfer who is cutting across the ball, for instance, say, a lot of golfers, their club head is traveling for the right-handed golfer, like across the ball towards them. That club head exits pretty quickly left around the body, right? Or the left arm is bent like crazy. So you can always, like, from you being a golf coach, you can see in someone's follow-through position what shot they've hit, right? You can see. Yeah. So for you, I like to have them, if you're trying to shift their pattern towards a draw, maybe have their arms extended to the right-hand side of their body in the follow-through. Something like that.
Yeah. Well, I just, generally, generally I end up doing that drill just about every lesson, just trying to get them into, like, hold the club up, push the hips forward, rotate till their knees touch with straight arms, when they're basically pointing at the target. Yeah. So if they can get to there, then generally to get to there, it'll probably be half, 3/4 swings, just trying to get to there initially with 9-irons. Yeah. Because everybody wants to get better with a driver, but most of them, they do the same things with their 9-iron, but they get away with it. And if you can't hit a 9-iron, you can't hit a driver. You've got no chance.
No, and that's true. And the reason why I actually like you talking about that type of structure as well is, as coaches, we've all got a golf, drill that we know develops people's skill of striking, and what you're doing there is, what I say to most people is, a common theme that I've seen amongst the world's best golfers, and there is the outliers, right? The ability to have their forearms close to each other through the hitting area, so that arc is very consistent and nice wide.
It's kind of funny that you say that, because I was doing a junior camp with a couple other coaches just 15 months ago, and I was looking at some old golf books as well, a Charlie Earp book, and just John Jacobs, and I was sort of just noticed, like, anybody who's any good, their weight's forward and their arms are extended, post impact, like waist high, I guess, or between waist and shoulder high. That's when they're getting extended. So I was like, well, I kind of got to get people better in that area. And if, I don't know, reverse engineer, if they can get there, then on half swings, and you get them wound up a bit better, and it ends up pretty good.
I got a video of Tiger Woods talking about the same drill. So technical coaching point of view, it's P3 to P9, which is left arm parallel to right arm parallel. And there's two good reasons why, right? Is I believe getting your weight forward will move your low point forward.
Absolutely.
So and so getting your low will move your low point forward. So we're talking like 65% side.
Well, most people, in golf, they don't transfer their weight. The things that dictate that the club's going to swing more to the right are the hips moving laterally and the shoulders being closed for longer.
Yes.
Because the slicer, their shoulders catch up to their hips too quick, and that throws the club out, and then you got no chance.
It's so true. So from the top of the golf swing with the slicer does that, I couldn't agree with you more. But and then to add to that, where your weight is positioned, as you were talking about with your drill, having those arms extended kind of keeps you a consistent distance away from the ball, and it helps you with your strike because you're delivering.
I think
strike.
It helps you to accelerate at the appropriate time too. Yeah. There's so many good things that come about because of it.
Yeah, and and you talk about two things there, right? The pivot and the arms. You got to do them both at the same time.
Yeah, well, I think that the best coaches kind of find the one thing that takes care of a lot of things.
Yes. Yeah, Sean.
And the less they speak, the better.
Yeah, Sean Foley said that the best coaches in the world, he believes, finds the solution and a drill quicker than the other ones.
That's, Butch Harmon, Alex Mercer, and they're good at motivating people.
Yeah, and getting you to believe. So when you're talking about there for the slicer, right? So the slicer from the top of the golf swing there, you're saying the shoulders catching up to the hips. So you're saying that the shoulders are probably over-rotating too early in the downswing, which causes the club to kick out?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's for sure. And sometimes that can happen because they don't get their backswing pivot. But, if you start forward and then, if they still struggle, then you've got to work on the backswing and then it makes it easier for them to get to the first drill. Yeah.
I agree. And it's there's a few little secret nuggets out there, but I got a video of Mr. Mac O'Grady talking about from the top of the golf swing. It's actually not it's just the hips moving forward and opening, and the shoulders are relatively trying to stay still, but they are moving as a result of the hips moving. So from the top of the backswing, that lead hip moving forward and around, the shoulders do unwind, but they're not unwinding under command. They're unwinding because
Yes, the more, the more you resist unwinding, the more your hips move laterally, and then that helps you get the inside path because your body's out of the way.
Yes, and it allows the club to drop on the inside. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
When you say the body's out of the way, the right-hand side of the body's out of the way.
Yes, so you got room to swing your arms because you've moved a little bit lateral.
Yeah.
Instead of it being in the way, yeah.
And then we can blast the hips and extend the arms to...
Well, yeah.
Hey, sounds easy in theory, doesn't it? Hey, Scotty, what are your goals? What are your goals with coaching? You want to be the best recreational golf coach you can be, or do you want to be a tour coach? What do you want to do?
Basically just to help the person that's in front of me, it's great to work with really talented kids, but, just like being with people that have a good attitude and are looking to get better. When I played, I was just trying to get better. I didn't really, wanted to have a career in golf, but it wasn't going to kill me if it wasn't the PGA Tour. But, it was just a process to get better, just like in coaching. I'm just trying to learn more all the time just to add to your library and, be better ready for the next person that gets in front of you.
Yeah, and how important do you think it is for a person to actually, we get all different types of students who come to us, right? Like when you say you just want to help fix the person in front of you and the person who's keen. When someone comes to you who wants to get better, or when someone comes to you and they're just miserable and just playing shithouse and they want you to fix them, I think that type of, attitude doesn't really work, does it?
It's hard to, to make people, people say they want to get better, but they don't want to change anything.
Oh, tell me about it. And they go, and they say to me, Toby, it doesn't feel nice. And I go, you know what feels nice?
Well,
Your shitty golf swing feels nice.
You know what I say when they say that? I say, well, good, because if what felt good before, that's what I was striving for,
I'll leave. I believe that too, and I'll often say to people that I'll say if I care about your feelings, I do. I really do care about your feelings, but if I put Tiger Woods' golf swing in your body right now, you would probably say it doesn't feel very nice.
Yeah. The old saying, Martin Hall, if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
I love that. It's a really good one, isn't it? It's a really good one. Hey, Scotty, this has been a lot of fun. It's been good to finally meet you and kind of talk to you on Instagram, which is what happens these days. It's how we all connect, isn't it?
Yeah. No, if it wasn't for Instagram, I wouldn't have near the knowledge that I do today, like watching guys like yourself. And it's a guy named Ian Mellor I've learned a lot off. Trying to think, Mike Bender, he does a lot of good stuff. I like his wedges, based, Zach Johnson won the Masters without going for a par 5 in 2. So there's something in that. And, Stack and Tilt has a great structure. It's just, there's so many people out there, offering information that can make you better, but you just got to know how to organize it.
Yes, I think for coaches, it's quite a valuable tool, Instagram, for sure. And I've had to many a times go through who I'm actually following to make sure that I am I'm following the influences of people that I want to be following as well. So I've got to make sure that I'm not getting my information from sources which I don't think are tried and tested. That's for sure. But I guess for the recreational golfer, I often will tell them, like, go on Instagram or YouTube for entertainment. Don't try and dissect what a lot of these guys are saying.
Yeah. That's why you see me out in my flip-flops in the backyard. I'm trying to see if what I've just read works, if find the merit in what I've, been listening to.
And how important, so just on that, right, I know you jump in the backyard and you try to often do things that I might have said or someone else might have said to you.
Yeah.
How much do you have to exaggerate the feeling and getting in that uncomfortable to actually make a swing change? Like when you look at it through the camera, because your golf swing is very tidy. To be honest, Scotty, it looks to me like it hasn't changed since you were very young, possibly. Like it's a beautiful golf swing. You're an unbelievable ball striker, but to make that shift, how uncomfortable do you got to feel?
Very, very, very much so. It's it's like you're playing another game, nearly. It's you say, a lot of cliches. To move it an inch, you got to feel like you're moving it a mile.
Yeah, it's very difficult, and I know for myself, like when I'm working something in my golf swing. And I'm now just in maintenance phase. I guess I'm not trying to do new things now anymore because I haven't got the time to implement the changes. But
sometimes when you're coaching, you got to hit one just to prove that you can still move when you stand around on the for 7 hours.
I know. And I sometimes get a bit nervous when it's been a while, But hey, Scotty, it's been a lot of fun. What's it there? It's Sunday night there, huh? Are you back teaching tomorrow?
Tomorrow, we got someone coming around to fix my door. My son, it's his last week of summer vacation. They start back at school next week. So I've been trying to spend my Mondays with him, just trying to make the most of the time that I have. My wife works Monday through Wednesday. So, and obviously pretty busy these days. So I try to at least have one full day with him. So Mondays, but then, it's probably the busiest I've ever been, like booked a few weeks in advance. And
nice.
It's a good problem to have, but, as coaches, we just want to help everybody that asks as soon as we can. So it's tough to tell people that, sorry, but can't see you for 3 weeks. But it's, kids go back to school. So I may actually get my clubs out in a week and, I think I played one full round in about 4 months. So, but I, still love the game. I don't know that I could do it as much as what I did 26 weeks of the year. But, I feel like when I go out and play, I'm as good as what as I ever was. But, just because I understand, how to hit the shots through being a coach.
I agree. I just last time I played in Bali in our country club, and mate, I think I hit the flag twice on the par threes. Like, I was striping it, and then the next day I went to Bali National and just chopped it. Shocking. Hey, Scotty, are you an online golf coach as well these days, or are you just solely in person? Can people catch you online?
Well, I have a Skillest page, and I need to get more active on it.
Yes.
Yeah. I know Baden is a good friend. I was with Baden was working with Gary Edwin. He was part of the college program when I was working with Gary in the early 2000s. So I need to support him.
Don't worry about Baden. He's doing all right.
Yeah, he's doing all right. Yeah.
Don't worry about Baden. Hey, all right, Scotty. I really appreciate you coming on. And hopefully the listeners have got to learn a little bit about the inside of your playing career and your coaching and how you like to think and how you like to work with your players. So I appreciate you coming on, mate.
Yeah. That was awesome. Thanks, mate.
Thanks,
Love all that you're doing on podcasts and your Instagram.
Thanks, brother. You're a good man.
Yeah. We'll see you, mate.
See you, mate.
Bye.
I'll just stop recording. Okay. Thanks, Scotty. That was good fun.
Okay. Yeah, it was good. Got a few nuggets that you probably didn't think you were going to get, like Craig Parry's shoes and. Yeah.
It was gold. It was gold. I'll probably I might divide it up into two again, that podcast, and do like the playing one and the coaching one, like break it up into two.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. And we try to do it, but I got a guy in the Netherlands who does it all for me. I don't do it.
Oh, good. Good stuff.
He's recording it sent straight to him. Hey, all right, Scott. Well, that was awesome, man. Well, I'll let you get to your door and get your plumbing sorted out.
Got to go work out with the wife and eat some fajitas. She's making me work out. She's trying to keep me kicking.
Hey, I did a bit of research, Scotty, when I was looking around last night for some stuff or the night before, and you look trimmer now than you did when in some of your playing photos.
Maybe, like at the end, I kind of had the thyroid issues, so I kind of got a bit puffy.
Of course. Yeah, you never know, do you? You never know what someone's going through, so you've got to be careful.
Yeah, but take it easy, and we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely want to hook up when I come over to the States and that as well. I don't know when I'm coming over, but I'm going back to Bali and I'm going to Dubai, hopefully doing some stuff with Robert Rock.
Okay, nice.
But yeah, we'll see how we go.
That Riggs golf is pretty good over there too. Coaches Steph Curry.
Alex he's coming on the pod.
Yeah. That's good. Good stuff.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Alex. He's just super professional, super busy, and charges a fucking mint, Scotty. He's $1 million a year guy.
Jeez.
Don't worry about him either.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, all right, Scotty. I'm going to rock and roll. Get in my work day. Thanks, mate.
Okay. See you, mate. Bye.